brand new episode of Talking Point with your host Papri. I'm very excited to introduce our guest today. He's an actor, a TV producer, a singer, a poet, a blogger, and a government employee. Wondering how that adds up? Well, let's meet the person himself, the Additional Director General of Doordarshan Mumbai, Mr. Mukesh Sharma. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. I know you have been asked this a zillion times already, but such a multidimensional person as you are, how come you stayed with one organization for almost 2 decades? You have been with Doordarshan for more than 2 decades now.
Yeah, maybe I feel I'm a very staunch public service broadcaster. It is in my veins that carries because I cater to the citizens and not only to the consumers. So maybe that is the reason. And moreover, my father was also in the government service. So, there is a sort of you have this job security.
Right.
So that is the reason, maybe that has helped, but ultimately I have been enjoying it, so I think that's fine.
You were preparing for Forest Service Commission and then
Yes.
you moved on to media. How did that happen?
I'm basically a science graduate, chemistry, botany and zoology. I studied and I did my BSc Bachelor of Science. And I was appearing for Indian Forest Service and I got through the written. And as luck would have it that there was a post advertised for Children's Film Society, an All India post, and I was in Lucknow at that time. So I applied for it. And though I was not actually cut out for the post, but somehow I managed to convince the organizers that if you call me and I'll be able to come on my own and I'll be able to tell you whatever I have done in television, because at that time the Lucknow television station, the Doordarshan, had come up. And I was doing freelancing there. So then they called me and as luck would have it, I got the job. And since then, for nearly, I think from 1980 to 1992, I worked with Children's Film Society and made about 52 films.
And how has been your experience with working with V. Shantaram?
V. Shantaram, he was the doyen of the Indian cinema. So it was like working with the master. The master is there and you're directly taking from the master. So he was quite old. I remember I was quite young. I was about 27, 28 years and he was in his ripe age, old age of 80 plus. But whatever little time, 2-3 years I had a chance to work with him, I learned a lot. And that's how that has helped me till date, whatever I'm doing.
So Doordarshan, how did that happen?
I thought that I have become, a toad in a small well, where I've grown too much and the well is not growing anymore. So I thought, let me go out of it. And at that time, Doordarshan had advertised post for deputy directors. That means station director directly, and I applied for it. There were very few people selected, 3-4 people, and I was the one also. And since then I have been working with Doordarshan, I would say from 1992 till date, where I have become Additional Director General now. I started as a Deputy Director, so it's a long journey.
Like you said yourself that it's been a long journey and you have seen the industry evolve.
Yes.
So from then and now, when you compare the two, do you think that the media enthusiasts and the people working for media right now are at an advantage when it comes to technology?
Yes, much greater advantage. We started with tape and you guys are doing now tapeless. So I have seen a whole spectrum going from tape to tapeless. Apart from that, opportunities are much more. In our time, there were hardly few people who could enter film industry or the film trade. Now you have 400 plus news channels, you have got another 400 plus general entertainment channels. So it's a landscape which is, it's very fertile, very big, and this industry is going to be something like more than 2 lakh crores by 2018 or 19. So if you know your job and if you love media, if you love creation, if you love producing or planning programs, this is the right time for all of you, and especially for the youngsters. And India is a young country, and I am seeing a lot of young people like you who are there now taking an interview of an old man like me. So that's good.
Not at all, sir. It's an honor, in fact. So when you started off with Sahyadri, so how challenging was it? Because your mother tongue is Hindi and
Yes.
this is a Marathi regional channel.
Yes,
So
yes.
how did you
Yes.
manage that?
Basically, I knew programming, I knew film production, I knew my job. So language was just that. I could ask someone to say that, okay, you just take care, what is the audio part of it, the right word they are using. Rest of the thing, how to plan a program, how to produce a program, how to execute a program, how to present a program, I said, I'll tell you all that. And a lot of new programming also I did in 2000. The reason was this, a lot of regional channels were also not there. So I had a chance to give a last, thrust, which I did. And it did help me from 2000 to 2006. Sahyadri was the lone DD channel, which was flying very high at that time. We were making a lot of money, a lot of eyeballs we were getting, our TRPs were very good. But then I left after 2006 end or maybe 7 beginning 2000. I left. I was transferred elsewhere, and then the channel did not pick it up further.
One of the more fierce competitors, I feel, were the private regional channels which had cropped up when you came back to Doordarshan and Sahyadri. So what were the steps that you took to ensure that it kind of overcame that?
I came back again in 2012, but by the time we had lost a lot of ground to private channels, and then reviving it was not that easy, but still whatever I could do in my own little way I did, and at least in 2013-14 I ensured that at least the channel does not run in losses. In 2000 I created certain properties, certain events. Practically I used to do one event every month, and those, whether it was Godrej or multinationals or it was Unilever, they stick with us with those properties, and those properties did give us good money. So when I came back, I started reviving those properties again. Also, I gauged the mood of the people and changed my programming a little bit, because at that time in 2000 when I started a lot of phone-in programs. At that time phone-in programs were a craze. People would call up and then they talk to you on television. So, but by the time when I came back, that craze was finished. So what new? And with television, every time they need something new, something different. You just cannot have the same thing, because the power of remote is such, in a minute they will just leave you and go away to the next channel. We made some money also that year, but still I would say that competition is too tough, and people are not interested in programming the way we do programming. People need a little more glamorous packaging, little more attractive packaging, and again, as I said, the youngsters are watching more. So are we connected with them? No, I don't think we are connected today. We need to do better what we are doing.
How do you think that Doordarshan can connect to the youngsters?
We should have youngsters like you. Our average age is something like 56, 57 years. So with 56, 57 years average age, what are we going to do? There has to be new thought, new blood in the organization. And since no new recruitment has taken place in 1992, so we are struggling, the organization is struggling.
So you also mentioned earlier about instances in your life which kind of made you feel that working with DD has been worthwhile for you. Little touching stories which you shared, if you would please.
See, basically I am not supposed to be in front of the camera. I am a person who works behind the camera as a director. But sometimes I do come because somebody has to lead from front. So I was leading sometimes, and I was being shown on television also for some programming or something. Whatever little I was seen by the people, I think the images were left in their mind. I remember once I had gone to buy some medicine from a pharmacy in a Jaslok hospital at the Pedal Road, and all of a sudden an old lady just touched my hand like this and said, "Hey, you are Mukesh Sharma." She said in Marathi. I said, "Yes. I watch your programs. You are doing a wonderful job, and especially public service." I said, "Thank you." And I was actually overwhelmed. I thought, it's whatever government pays me, but this is much more than that.
Aside from your work, I also heard that you write and you blog as well,
Yes.
And you sing.
Yes,
So
I do
can
that.
we hear a little bit, a little bit of a song?
Song. Of course, I have got about 600 old songs on my iPod, and sometimes we do, a lot of people on the oldies, we sit down and then we go down the memory lane of our times and we do sing a song. So of course it is there. The thought of the song is that you and I were separately roaming around somewhere, and one fine day we met each other. How, why, when, we don't know. So that is the thought of the song. यूं ही अपने अपने सफर में गुम, कहीं दूर मैं कहीं दूर तुम, कहीं दूर तुम, चले जा रहे थे जुदा जुदा, मुझे आप किस लिए मिल गए, मैं अकेले यूं ही मज़े में था, मुझे आप किस लिए मिल गए.
Tell something about your college life, going back in years. Few instances about your college life which stay with you. Some naughty instances.
Actually, before college life, there is another incident which I still remember, and that was an incident which every child would have gone through. Maybe I remember my father was not a very rich man. He was not like what I am now, whatever it is. So he could not afford me in the sense. So I was then brought up by my grandmother, and my elder brother was another grandmother, like from the maternal side and paternal side. So when I came back, so naturally I was not given those disciplinary habits or whatever it is at my grandmother's place, whatever I wanted she gave me. So I remember when I came here and started living with my parents, and I was going to school then. I was in second or third standard. Then I think I took out some money from his wallet, and I went to the school and I brought some sweets and all, and came back and didn't tell that this is what I have done. But father had everything counted in the wallet. So he checked up with everyone and then he said, "Did you take out some money from my wallet?" I said, "No." He said, "Are you sure?" "No." And then one slap on my face and I said, "Yes, I did." And then he said, "Why?" I said, "I wanted to eat the sweets." He said, "But you could have asked me." I said, "Yes, but I thought I'll buy it myself." He said, "Okay, so you love sweets, okay, and you stole money from my." I said, "I don't know, whatever it is," but he said, "No problem." I remember that night, 1 kilogram of sweets were brought to me and said, "Nobody's going to eat it, he's going to eat it only." And I was crying and eating, and I realized that day that this is the biggest punishment I can get. But these are the things which, later on they help you in your life to look back and say that, okay, if that slap was not given, I would have been a different man altogether.
You pointed out how important it is that youngsters join media.
Yes.
There are a lot of media enthusiasts out there and they look up to you. If you have to give them a message, what would that be?
See, I would say that media, it is such a big ecosystem right now that you must make yourself, even in news, you want to be a news reporter, or you want to be a news anchor, or you want to just write the news, or you want to edit the news, you want to shoot the news. What I'm saying, in just one particular thing, there are so many variety to be done. Do what you have to do, but you must excel it. You must be the best in it. Though everyone says it's a jack of all and master of none. But I feel that fine, you may take it, but because the landscape is so huge, you must try and ensure that what is the best, you must pick it up. That is one thing. And this is the best time for the youngsters to take media, because whether it is commercial media or whether it is what we are doing, broadcasting, public service, everything is growing very fast and it is expanding, and for another 5-7 years it's going to. So why not the best? And I remember the type of talent we are seeing right now. Was this talent not there earlier? It was there, but there was no medium to showcase it. There were very few, one channel only, one radio station, some cinema halls, no PVR like that. So you guys have got a tremendous showcasing. You can showcase so many things today, which I feel it's a very good opportunity for all the youngsters.
Sir, it was a pleasure having you on the show. I'm sure that our viewers will definitely make sure that they'll keep a positive outlook towards life, just like you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.